Now, I previously talked about choices, a doctor's diagnosis, the difference between what does happen and what could happen. I'm going to go deeper into a traumatic event I brought up in a previous video from my own life back in 1985. Recently, I've actually finished learning and gaining all the strength I could learn from that event. Although I had thought I was already released from it, I'm feeling a lot more free now. I was on a transit ride. It was about a 10-minute trip in recent weeks. And I remembered a couple months after February 1985, my mom introduced me to the woman whose family's dinner I had interrupted. She was the one who had called police, fire, and ambulance when I landed a mangled wreck on their front lawn. I believe I was still using crutches when I met her, although I think my cast was off. I thanked her for calling emergency officials and apologized for interrupting their dinner. The look in her eyes is why I've always shunned recognition and attention. It became a key part of who I am. For a long time, all I've seen and all I allowed it to be is what I've been through multiple times. Is he going to make it? Oh, look, his eyes are opening, or he's trying to move his arm, he's trying to speak. And that's all I had accepted it for. It was a bit of a path, but I finally bridged the difference, which allowed me a lot more insight. Now, that evening in February 85, it was late in the afternoon. I'm sort of putting it together because it was after school. I was crossing a 4-lane artery to a corner, and it was a 3-way intersection. There were no lights there yet. The closest 2 lanes were clear. In the inside lane of the far 2, a driver had stopped. I waited. The driver encouraged me it was safe to cross. As I walked past the car into the inside far lane, a driver coming up behind the stopped car switched lanes. It's believed I flew 60 feet. I didn't quite stick the landing. I wasn't Superman. I'll never really know if perhaps I saw a car coming in the distance. If that's why I hesitated. If at 10 years old, second-guessing my own judgment, trusting a stranger's reassurance played a role, and I became a pedestrian involved in a motor vehicle accident. I do know initially it was believed I wasn't coming back. I wouldn't make it. I know it went from that to if I survive, I'll never walk again. Last evening, I recalled coming to from that coma, being told that although I probably won't walk again, I might not be paralyzed, and I might be well enough to operate a wheelchair. My full leg cast for broken tibia and fractured growth plate came off April 9th, 1985. September 1985, I started a daily paper route. If I wanted stuff, I needed to earn money, and things around the house were tight. My one sister has claimed she was raised by a pack of wild wolves. In August 1987, locally, we had a rare funnel cloud. It didn't touch down. I remember I was 12 and a half, weighed maybe 110 pounds. When I graduated 5 years later, like now, I'm 143 pounds. I had about 25-30 papers in each sack across each shoulder. I remember they were thick papers. At times I could barely move. I walked backwards even into the wind. The gusts, I believe, exceeded 80 or even 120 kilometers per hour. I got my route done in the regular time. I walked a half-hour home. I don't care for excuses. I never have. I've always known the difference between can't and I don't want to.